Be me, 35 years old, and noticing a really disturbing pattern in my dating life. Every guy I date seriously ends up married to the next woman after me. Not like years later, but like within 1 year of us breaking up max. It has happened 4 times now, and I cannot ignore it anymore, honestly. First was Jamal, who I dated for 2 years in my mid-20s. We broke up because he said he was not ready for commitment yet. 6 months later, he was engaged to some girl he met at work. They got married a year after that, and now have 2 kids together. Then there was Marcus, who I dated for 18 months after Jamal. He said he needed to focus on his career and could not give me what I deserved. 8 months later, I see on Instagram he proposed to his new girlfriend. They had a destination wedding, and she posts about him constantly being the best husband. Then there was Darius, who I dated for almost 3 years in my early 30s. He kept saying he was not sure about marriage as an institution overall. I believed him and waited thinking he would come around eventually for me. We broke up, and 10 months later, he married a woman he met on an app. Most recently was Terrence, who I dated for a year until I was 34. He said he loved me, but could not see himself settling down with anyone yet. Broke up, and within 6 months, he was posting photos with a new girl. They just got engaged last month, and she is wearing the ring I used to describe wanting. 4 men who all told me they were not ready for commitment or marriage. 4 men who all committed and married the very next woman after me. That cannot be a coincidence anymore. There has to be something going on. I am the common denominator, but I do not understand what I am doing wrong. My friends all tell me those guys were just intimidated by my success. Say they wanted someone less ambitious who would not challenge them as much. Say I dodged bullets and should be grateful I did not end up with them. But if they were bullets, then why did their next partners get the ring and happiness? Start to spiral and become obsessed with figuring out what is happening to me. Go down rabbit holes, reading about dating patterns and relationship dynamics online. Find forums where men talk openly about their dating experiences anonymously. What I find there changes everything I thought I understood about my situation. There is a term men use for women like me that I never heard before. They call us practice girlfriends. And the description fits perfectly exactly. A practice girlfriend is the woman a man dates to figure out what he wants. She teaches him how to be a better boyfriend before he finds his real wife. The posts describe it in brutal detail that I cannot stop reading over and over. She is the one who trains him to communicate better and understand women's needs. She puts in the work to fix his flaws and teach him how to be a partner. Then he takes everything he learned from her and gives it to the next woman. I feel sick reading this, but I cannot stop scrolling through all the posts. Men openly admit to having practice girlfriends who they never intended to marry. Say they knew from early on she was not the one, but stayed for the lessons. Used her to become the man their future wife would actually want to marry. Think about my relationship with Jamal and realize I did exactly this for him. When we started dating, he was emotionally closed off and bad at communicating. I spent months teaching him how to express his feelings and be vulnerable with me. By the time we broke up, he was a completely different man than when we met. He took all of that growth and gave it to his wife, who gets to enjoy it. I did the hard work of fixing him, and she gets the finished product. I was his practice girlfriend, and I did not even know that was a thing. Same with Marcus, who did not know how to plan dates or be romantic at all. I taught him what women want and how to make someone feel special and loved. Showed him how to remember anniversaries and buy thoughtful gifts and listen properly. His wife posts about how thoughtful and romantic he is all the time now. That was me who taught him all of that, and she gets the benefit of my labor. I was training him the whole time without realizing what was actually happening. Thought I was building a future with him, but I was just preparing him for her. Darius was the worst, because I gave him 3 whole years of my life for nothing. He was a mess when we met and did not know how to be in a relationship. I taught him everything about compromise and partnership and building a life together. His wife gets the fully formed man, and I got years of frustration and tears. Terrence, at least, was only a year. But the pattern is crystal clear now, finally. Every man I date comes to me, broken in some way, and I fix him up nicely. Then he leaves me and immediately commits to the next woman he meets after me. I am the free rehabilitation center for men before they go marry someone else. Need to understand why this keeps happening to me and not to other women. Decide to do something that feels insane, but I need to know the truth. Reach out to Marcus's wife through Instagram with a message asking to talk. Say, I am his ex, and I have a question about something that is bothering me. She responds surprisingly and says she is open to talking if I need closure. We meet for coffee, and I am nervous the whole drive there to meet her. She is pretty and sweet, and exactly the kind of woman I would never be. Softer and more feminine and less intense than me in every possible way. Start by asking her about how she and Marcus met and what attracted him. She says they met at a friend's party, and he approached her right away confidently. Says he was romantic from the beginning and always knew how to make her feel special. Says she felt like the luckiest woman because he was so emotionally available always. Feel my stomach drop because I know I am the one who taught him all of that. He was not like that. When I met him, he was closed off and clueless completely. I literally trained him to be the man she is describing to me right now. She is enjoying the finished product of my years of unpaid emotional labor. Ask her if he ever talked about me or his past relationships at all. She says he mentioned me once and said he learned a lot from that relationship. Said it taught him what he wanted and did not want in a wife someday. Said he was grateful for it, but knew I was not the one pretty early on. That hits me like a punch to the chest, hearing those words come out of her mouth. He knew early on I was not the one, but stayed with me for 18 months anyway. Used me to learn what he wanted and then found it in someone else immediately. I was just his classroom, and she was his graduation into a real relationship. Ask her what she thinks she did differently that made him want to marry her. She thinks for a moment and says, honestly, I just made him feel really good. Says I never tried to change him or fix him or tell him how to be better. Says I appreciated who he was, and he rose to meet that appreciation naturally. She says she thinks some women approach relationships like renovation projects. They see a man as something to fix and improve instead of someone to love. Says that energy makes men feel like they are never good enough as they are, and eventually they leave to find someone who makes them feel enough already. Feel defensive, but I asked for the truth, so I have to hear it all. Ask her if she thinks I was like that, and that is why he left me. She says carefully that Marcus told her I was always trying to improve him, always had suggestions for how he could be better or do things differently than he did. Said he felt like he was never enough for me, no matter what he did. Said he was exhausted from constantly trying to meet standards that kept moving. Said when he met her, he finally felt like he could relax and just be himself, and that made him want to commit because he could see doing that forever with her. Sit there, processing everything she just said to me about their relationship. I thought I was helping him become a better man by pointing out his flaws. Turns out I was just making him feel like shit until he found someone who didn't. She got the better version of him because she did not try to create him herself. Thank her for being honest with me, even though it is painful to hear. She says she hopes I find what I'm looking for and genuinely means it. Drive home feeling completely destroyed by everything I just learned today. Spend the next few weeks reaching out to my other exes for more information. Jamal agrees to talk and confirms everything Marcus's wife told me, basically. Says he loved me, but felt like he could never make me happy no matter what. Said every time he tried to do something nice, I found something wrong with it. Said he walked on eggshells, constantly afraid of disappointing me again. Said when he met his wife, she was just happy to be with him and showed it. That simple appreciation made him want to give her the world in return. He proposed in 6 months because he knew she would make him feel good forever. Darius sends me a long message explaining why he never proposed in 3 years. Says he wanted to, but something always held him back that he could not name. Eventually realized it was because he felt like I was waiting for him to fail, like I was keeping score and tallying his mistakes instead of enjoying our life. Says his wife makes him feel like a winner even when he makes mistakes. She assumes good intentions and gives him grace instead of criticism always. That made him feel safe enough to be vulnerable and commit fully to her. Something he could never feel with me because I was always watching and judging. All of my exes tell me versions of the same story over and over again. I made them feel not good enough, so they found someone who made them feel enough. I tried to fix them, so they found someone who appreciated them as is. I was the practice girlfriend who taught them what they did not want in a wife. Start to see my entire dating history through a completely different lens now. Every relationship I thought failed because he was not ready or not good enough actually failed because I made him feel like he was not ready or not good enough. They were all ready and good enough, just not with me specifically. Think about how I treated each of them, and the patterns are painfully clear. Always had feedback and suggestions for how they could improve themselves for me. Always noticed what they did wrong more than what they did right for me. Always made them feel like they were works in progress, not finished products. I thought I had high standards, but really I just had constant criticism. I thought I was helping them grow, but really I was making them feel small. I thought they left because they could not handle a strong woman like me. But they left because I made them feel weak, and they found women who made them strong. The worst part is realizing I do this because of my own insecurities deep down. If I am always improving him, then I do not have to look at myself honestly. If the problem is always him, then I never have to face my own flaws. I was projecting my perfectionism onto them because I hate myself underneath it all. Start therapy to unpack all of this baggage I have been carrying for years. Therapist helps me see that my need to fix men comes from childhood trauma. My mom always criticized my dad, and eventually he left us for another woman. I learned that relationships are about changing men before they inevitably leave you. But the irony is, my constant criticism is exactly what makes them leave me. I am recreating my mom's failed marriage over and over again unknowingly, pushing men away with the same energy that pushed my dad out the door, and then blaming them just like she blamed him for everything that went wrong. It takes months of therapy to really understand and start changing this pattern. Learn to catch myself when I'm about to criticize or suggest improvements. Practice appreciating things out loud instead of keeping a mental list of flaws. Learn to let small things go instead of making everything a teaching moment. Start dating again with this new awareness, and it feels completely foreign. Meet a guy named Warren who has some habits that would have driven me crazy before. He leaves cabinet doors open and forgets to text back for hours sometimes. Old me would have already started a mental file of things to fix about him. New me takes a breath and asks if this actually matters in the big picture. Decide it does not and let it go without saying anything critical about it. He notices that I am easygoing and tells me he appreciates how relaxed I am. Says his ex was always on his case about something, and it was exhausting constantly. Feel a pang of guilt because I know I was that ex to 4 different men before. I was the exhausting one who was always on their case about every little thing. They left me and found their peaceful, happy marriages with women who let them breathe. I was the storm they had to get through before finding their calm, safe harbor. 3 months into dating, Warren and I am fighting my old habits every single day. He does something that annoys me, and my instinct is to correct him immediately. I bite my tongue and remind myself that criticism is what got me here alone. Remind myself that the next woman will get him if I drive him away too. One night he makes dinner, and it is honestly not great at all. Old me would have made a comment about seasoning or cooking time or technique. New me just thanks him for cooking and says it is so nice to be taken care of. He beams and says he wants to cook for me, more often now that he knows I appreciate it. Realize that my appreciation made him want to do more for me, not less. All those years of criticizing men to make them better actually made them worse, or made them leave and get better for someone else, which is even more painful. Appreciation creates the change I was trying to force through criticism all along. 6 months in, and Warren tells me he has never felt this comfortable with anyone. Says, I make him feel like he is enough exactly as he is, and that is rare. Says most women he dated were always trying to change him into someone else. I do not tell him I used to be that woman, because I am not her anymore. He starts talking about the future and where he sees this relationship going. The man I did not try to fix is talking about forever, after only 6 months, the same timeline that used to make me crazy when it happened to my exes. Now, I understand that when a man feels good enough, he commits fast without hesitation. A year later, we are engaged, and I still cannot believe this is my life now. Not because I found the perfect man, but because I stopped looking for one. Stopped trying to fix and improve and change and just started appreciating. And in return, I got everything I spent years chasing with the wrong approach. Think about the term practice girlfriend and how much it destroyed me at first. Finding out that men saw me as training wheels before they found their real wives. But now I understand that I created that role for myself by how I treated them. I made myself the practice girlfriend by making them feel like practice boyfriends. They were not practicing on me, they were suffering with me, waiting until they had enough skills to find someone who would not hurt them. I taught them what they did not want, and they went and found the opposite. Cannot be mad at them for leaving when I was the one pushing them out the door. Still think about my exes sometimes and their happy marriages with other women. Used to feel bitter and replaced and like I got the short end of the deal. Now I understand I gave them exactly what they needed to find their wives. Just not in the way I intended because my pain was their lesson about love. If I had been different, any one of them could have been my husband today. Jamal or Marcus or Darius or Terrence could have been building a life with me. Instead, they are building lives with women who made them feel good about themselves. Women who learned early what it took me 35 years and 4 failed relationships to learn. The hardest part is knowing I cannot get those years back, no matter what I do. My 20s and early 30s spent training husbands for other women is time lost forever. But the alternative was never learning and being alone at 40 and 45 and beyond. At least I figured it out, while there was still time to do something different. Tell my younger sister about all of this, because I see her making my mistakes. She is 28 and constantly criticizing her boyfriend for not being good enough. I tell her she is creating a practice boyfriend, and she does not believe me. Say she will when he marries the next girl after her in less than a year. She gets defensive just like I would have at her age with anyone telling me this. Says she just has standards and expects him to meet them consistently like a grown-up. Says if he cannot handle feedback, then he is not the one for her anyway. I hear myself from 10 years ago and know she will not listen until it is too late. Some lessons you have to learn yourself, no matter who tries to warn you first. I would not have listened at 28 either, because I was so sure I was right. Took 4 practice boyfriends becoming husbands to other women before I got it. Hopefully she figures it out faster than I did, but probably she will not. Warren and I got married last spring, and I still have to work on myself daily. The urge to criticize and fix and improve is always there under the surface. I catch myself before the words come out and replace them with appreciation instead. He never knows how close he comes to being my 5th practice boyfriend some days. But I choose every day to be different than I was with the ones before him. Choose appreciation over criticism and acceptance over improvement demands constantly. Choose to make him feel good enough, because that is what makes him want to stay. That is the secret I learned from being the practice girlfriend for so many years. Turned out, I was never teaching men how to be better boyfriends at all. I was teaching them what kind of woman they did not want to marry ever. The next woman just had to be the opposite of me, and she automatically won, because I set the bar so low by making them feel so terrible about themselves. Now, I set the bar high by making my husband feel amazing about who he is, and he spends every day trying to clear that bar because he actually wants to. Not because I demanded it, but because feeling good makes you want to do good. The thing I was chasing with criticism, I finally caught with appreciation instead.